Hello there, I'm Lorne Riseley, host of Defunct Games News, the one news show this week that will have absolutely no political commentary in it whatsoever. JK, lol. Couldn't help myself. Anyway, coming up this week. We detail the latest and greatest in the console releases you might not have heard about. We prepare to board one hype train as another one comes into the station. And other highlights to come include a lesson in irony that you won't believe. Yes, that's right, we're back. And I know what you're thinking, why the hell did it take so long? Well, frankly, you wouldn't believe how much eyeliner, confetti, and body glitter there was left around the studio after that Robert Pattinson telethon that was held a couple of months back. You remember that thing Cyril thought would be really funny to do, and the bosses somehow made tons of money and decided to kick me and Dave out of the office for so long that it took about a month of convincing them to let us back in. I mean, do they realise we're the only news show on this channel? But back we are, and we have news to cover, bitches. So telethons be damned. Let's get to what the people really want. Me, right? Okay, fair enough. On to our first story of the week then. And good news, people, we're going to be covering a product that for once on this channel you 100% absolutely will guarantee money back, but all the rest of that be able to get your hands on it. Probably. Analogue, the company you remember that we brought to you with the Pocket until, well, they kind of gone and sold out. Again, sorry about that, have announced their latest concoction of digital delights, the Duo.
Ride the tiger, you can see his stripes, but you know he's clean.
No, not Dio, Duo. Damn it, Dave! According to Analogue, the Duo is an all-in-one reimagining of perhaps the most underappreciated video game system of all time. It is compatible with nearly every NEC system and game format ever made, including the company's first ever console with a disk drive. TurboGrafx 16, PC Engine, Super Graphics, TurboGrafx CD, PC CD-ROM, an arcade system CD-ROM, you name it, it'll run it. It has a 20-hour battery life, it has zero signal degradation, with 1080p, zero lag, Bluetooth 2.4G. They proclaim proudly, because the last thing a video game system should be is predictable. Something tells me that the bosses of Defunct Games would disagree with that assessment, given that all we seem to do on this channel recently is cover game console releases. According to their website, Bluetooth and 2.4G are built right in. You can sync up with any wireless 8-bit DO Bluetooth or 2.4G controller directly to Duo for wireless play, with up to 4-player support and no receivers required. But feel the need to rock a cable like it's 2003? Connect controllers directly via an original style port and the wired USB ports too. The Duo also provides a multitude of options such as scanline and scaling options, as well as horizontal and vertical position adjustment, stretching. It also features 3.5mm headphone jacks and a volume dial, which will let you customize your viewing and audio experience while you're playing games like Splatterhouse or running rampant in Ninja Spirit. Analogue go on to say, we spent thousands of hours engineering each system via FPGA for absolute accuracy. Unlike the knockoff and emulation systems that riddle the market today, you'll be experiencing the entire NEC era free of compromises. Duo is designed to preserve video game history with the respect it deserves. But of course the bits you want to know. When's it coming, and how many pennies do I gotta save to be able to buy this bad boy? Well, you'll need to pay extra for controllers, albeit 8-bit DO's TurboGrafx or PC Engine controllers are excellent, and indeed they'll work with the Nintendo Switch too. But as best we know, it's coming sometime in early 2021, and it'll be priced around $199, but unfortunately, while it's available in black and silver, it will only be available in limited quantities. Please, don't hurt my family. I'm not involved, they're not involved in the manufacturing process or the marketing of this console. We have nothing to do with it, so stop taking it out on us. Besides, you can sign up to be notified as soon as the Analogue Duo is available via their website, so you won't be left holding your cookies like Arnie. But hold up, viewers, because there's more. Because if you're in the mood for a handheld gaming console experience instead, panic no more, because Panic have their new console for your consideration. The PlayDate is a brand new handheld console that Panic say is not quite like anything else you'll have played. What's unique about it, you may ask? Well, Panic anticipated you might ask that question, and here's what they had to say. It's got the usual D-pad, A and B buttons, pause button, etc. But what it has is a crank, a rotational analog controller that flips out from the side and puts a new spin on games. It's got a black and white screen, and according to them it's beautiful because it has no backlight and it's super reflective. But the real deal maker is that the PlayDate is not just a platform, it's a complete experience, including brand new games delivered over time directly to the device. Panic themselves state, quote, "We saw an opportunity for something truly different in the world of video games. Something small scale that could deliver a dose of fun and delight to video game players who would have otherwise seen it all. Something that could fit nicely in between regular gaming sessions. Something unexpected and beautiful with a secret, surprise set of exclusive games written by amazing developers. Put simply, something that adds a little brightness to your life." And this is where the PlayDate season comes in. The PlayDate season is a collection of secret games that are released to players over time, currently planned to be one game a week. Playdate's games have been created by some of today's most exciting indie developers, some you've heard of and some you haven't. The games will remain a surprise until magically delivered to your device. Priced at $149, you'll get the PlayDate device for that money, a USB-C cable for recharging the device, and a season of games. But to the two big questions I had, what games will you be able to play, and what the hell does the crank do? Quote, "Think of the crank like an analog stick, but one you can turn endlessly. It tucks into the device nicely and adds a new element to PlayDate games that can't be found anywhere else. It does not, however, charge the device. As far as the handheld's first season of games, which you'll get access to for free when you buy the console, well, we know it'll include more titles than initially planned. However, no confirmed titles as of yet, as Panic promised to detail the entire lineup in an upcoming video. But fear not, as the company claims it's fine-tuned the PlayDate hardware from when it was first shipped out preview units to the developers in question." So there you go! What do you think? The Analogue Duo and the Panic PlayDate. What are your thoughts on these announcements? Perhaps you rate the Pocket that we covered previously a little bit more covetously, or maybe these two bad boys are enough to convince you to part with your money as we enter this period where the new console, the big boy consoles, are about to be released. Leave us your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, let's take a look back at the week that was Defunct Games, shall we? And despite the fact that Cyril likes to steer clear of political stuff, given the political jalapeno that this week has been, he decided to start the week off controversially, potentially, with a Game Over episode that I think you'll enjoy. As you know, we don't normally cover politics here at Defunct Games, but this seems to be the right time to buck the tradition and talk about that one time a developer tried to turn President Bill Clinton's cat into the next big video game hero. This week, Cyril took a dive into the baffling and misguided world of Socks the Cat, Rocks the Hill, a Super NES platformer that was almost released in the mid-90s before being cancelled at the very last second. This is a weird game with an even weirder history, which makes it perfect for 2020. So why not head on over to the Defunct Games YouTube channel and let Cyril spoil the story and ending for Socks the Cat, Rocks the Hill on the Super Nintendo. Now, while we may have unwisely gotten you all riled up with a political video at the beginning of this, maybe let's steer things back into more neutral, passive territory with a review of a game that Cyril made for you. A game called Penko Park. Cyril states that although it's a blatant Pokemon Snap ripoff, you shouldn't hold that against Penko Park. This is a delightful game that takes you down a relaxing path full of inventive and often adorable monsters. And with a camera in hand, you'll have to sneak out and get to know all of these creatures in order to take the perfect picture. But the question is, does this game pull it off? As in the trick of being a good alternative to going to the zoo during this lockdown period? Or is it on the John Hammond list of parks he should have maybe spared a bit more expense? Tune in to find out. And do always remember that Cyril's got a massive archive of videos on his YouTube channel and indeed on the website for you to peruse through, so why not take a moment, dive back in and see what you maybe have missed. Can't be anything better to do during this lockdown period. At least for me, anyway. Now, for the first time maybe ever on DGN, I have a story that's not only near and dear to my heart, but I actually know a lot about, because this week was the N7 conference where maybe, just maybe, rumours abound that a Mass Effect Remastered Edition was going to be announced. Wait a minute, Dave, I've just noticed that story's... The conference doesn't happen until Saturday, and we film this on a Friday, so how are we supposed to...
Yeah, sorry, it looks like...
Wait a minute, so in essence what you failed to do this time is find a second story again?
Yes, it would certainly appear so.
Okay, to our second story this week. For fuck's sake, Dave. Bethesda is working on a new game engine to power its upcoming next-gen games, The Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield. Now Todd Howard, the scallywag that he is, couldn't help but tease just how significant the update to the engine is going to be. Now yes, this is Todd Howard we're talking about, a man capable of kicking you in the dick and convincing you that it was your nan that did it. But given that it's Elder Scrolls, let's hear him out on this. During a recent event, he claimed that the overhaul to the engine is, quote, probably the largest we've ever had, maybe even larger than Morrowind to Oblivion. To help with this, Bethesda is heavily investing in the team behind it, and Howard claimed that there are more people working at Bethesda working on this engine by a factor of 5 than ever before. That's right, that means there's up to 5 ferrets and 1 hamster working on debugging 76 going forward. Say what you like, I'd call that improvement. He insinuated that the new game engine Bethesda are developing is likely to retain some of the characteristics and quirks people know and love about the studio's games, including support for mods and the emphasis on open-ended worlds. However, outside of those claims, fans can expect major changes, from rendering to animation to pathing to procedural generation. I don't want to say anything, but it's significant, as an overhaul can be significant. It's taken us longer than we would have liked, but it's going to power everything we're going to do with Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. When people see the results, they'll hopefully be as happy as we are with what's on the screen, and also how we can go about making our games. But when will we see the efforts of these Goliath coding and development improvements, I hear you exclaim? Well, calm yourself for a second and I'll tell you. Todd said that fans should hold their breath, if they're really good at holding their breath or have access to an endless supply of oxygen, because he said don't expect it anytime soon. As yet, there is no firm plan for the proper announcement or release timing of the Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield, so to temper expectations, he went on to say, you just don't want to string them along for too long. You kinda get fatigued. You have to balance that fatigue of wanting something versus that consumer excitement. Also, it takes time, to be frank. Preparing trailers, demos, and assets take time away from development. I remember games we've done where you're doing that for multiple years. It's like you have to top yourself. You have to top your previous demo. I'd rather spend that time focusing on the game and prepare one big demo. As you may remember, Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield were previewed to a certain extent at E3 2018 with mood trailers, but no gameplay or any details to speak of because welcome to Hype Station, where all the hype trains leave and arrive. Bethesda announced these games at the time to assure fans that it was working on Bethesda games that they actually wanted after the studio took a different approach with the multiplayer Fallout game, Fallout 76, and went on to tank its reputation in a manner that makes me wonder how that didn't happen in the dark timeline that is 2020. But what do you think? Are you happy that Daddy's gonna buy you a brand new game engine for the next generation, maybe? Or, like me, are you being a bit apprehensive considering that we've probably got more of a chance of seeing Kermit the Frog drop a gangster rap album with guest vocals from Donald Trump than we are actually seeing an Elder Scrolls 6 game in our lifetime? Just me, but you know, I'm naturally apprehensive as a gamer these days. Leave us your thoughts in the comment section below. And finally this week, we take a look at a few stories that maybe escaped your notice, but we feel you need to know about to top off a week that, yes, is politically charged, but worse still, is the last week you guys will ever have to put up without being greeted by me at the end of a weekend, you poor sods. So let's get into it, shall we? Pip pip chiddio! Watch Dogs Legion, that game set in London where people go tippy-tappy and go hacky-wacky and things of that nature. You know, the one about computers and getting hacked and stuff. Well, it turns out, it's not immune to irony, because the source code for the game has apparently been hacked, and for realsies. Originally reported by ZDNet in October 2020, a ransomware gang by the name of eGregor claimed to have obtained access to the internet networks of both Ubisoft and Crytek, and stole data which DSOG Gaming have said, quote, eGregor appears to have possession of the source code for Watch Dogs Legion at a size of around 560 gigabytes. It is yet unclear how eGregor gained access to these networks, but groups like this tend to steal data, encrypt it, and then hold it to ransom and force these companies to pay exorbitant fees to prevent them from leaking the files. Well, it's nice to see that in 2020, God, Elmo, or indeed whatever celestial being is currently scripting this dark timeline we're in, isn't immune to having a decent sense of humour. Now onto the one game that makes me feel profoundly like the old man in the room. We have Fall Guys news now, everyone. Just 1 month after the beginning of Season 2, Fall Guys has a new update, if the Fall Guys Twitter is to be taken at face value. Indeed, the developers made a point of discussing their upcoming update, going on to claim that the team have spent a month working on the new addition to a game that, along with Among Us, has dominated streamers and YouTuber feeds. I mean, I don't want to be that guy in the room, but what's the big deal? It's essentially a first-generation Wii title with some additional skins and a Sonic the Hedgehog skin. Yeah, I said it, come at me, bras and brarettes. Anyways, the Twitter account joked that they wanted to call the update Fan Big Yeet Little, as there would be little yeetus hidden throughout the levels, with very small translating to very low probability, with the devs claiming that it would be a new level added called Big Fans, hence Fan Big Yeet Little. Big Yeetus is a new character introduced back in September, which arrived in the form of a fittingly large swinging hammer that would appear randomly. At the time, fans were in disbelief about the addition until videos started to trickle onto the internet showing off its mighty power. Big Yeetus, huh? Sounds like Kanye West's Bodyguard. Anyways, Fall Guys Season 2 was launched last month with a medieval theme that threw in thematic maps and cosmetics for players to enjoy, and as of Season 2, players can also change nicknames and banners. Are you enjoying Season 2 of Fall Guys? Leave us your thoughts in the comments section below. Hey, I'm not old, okay? I'm still straight up repping that 2004 killer crop. Word. And finally this week, Chrono Trigger was released 21 years ago this week in the grand old age of 1999. Hip hip hooray, everybody! Developed and published by Square for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, Chrono Trigger, a game that follows a group of adventurers who travel through time to prevent a global catastrophe, was originally released in 1995 and spawned the Chrono series as we know it today. Chrono Trigger's development team is notable as it included 3 designers that Square dubbed the Dream Team. Hironobu Sakaguchi, the creator of Square's successful Final Fantasy series, Yuji Horigi, a freelance designer and creator of Enix's popular Dragon Quest series, and Akira Toriyama, a manga artist famed for his work with Dragon Quest and my favourite, Dragon Ball. Chrono Trigger was a critical and commercial success upon release, and it's frequently cited by many in the industry as one of the greatest video games of all time. Nintendo Power Magazine described aspects of Chrono Trigger as revolutionary, including its multiple endings, plot-related side quests, focusing on character development, unique battle system, and detailed graphics. A great game to be sure, but does it have a Sonic the Hedgehog skin that it can apply to its characters? No, I'm asking the tough questions here, people. Anywho, that's been the happenings of this week. This has been Defunct Games News. I've been your host, Lorne Riseley, telling you that times change, games news comes and goes. But let's just remember, folks, that as politically charged as everything may be at the moment, people are still your neighbours, they're still your friends, they're still your family, they're still your colleagues. And it's only when we work together that we can really build a better future with each other. So while that may be a controversial thing to say, maybe that we're not supposed to hate each other, well, that's how we just feel it here at Defunct Games News. But if you want a respite from it all, we're here to provide that for you. So why not head over to the YouTube channel, check out some of the other videos that we've been producing this week. Head over to defunctgames.com and check out some of the archived articles and videos and things of that nature. Follow us both on Twitter, check out the Discord. But chief among all those things, do take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching once again, and we'll see you soon. God damn, it's good to be back.
Hey, thanks for watching the return of Defunct Games News. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that Lorne will be back next weekend with even more news. Now, here's the question I have for you. Are you interested in buying a PlayDate? Oh, I don't like the way that's worded. I guess what I'm asking is, are you interested in buying one of those PlayDate systems, you know, with the crank? Between that and the curated approach, it's definitely doing something different. But is that enough to justify $150? Let me know in the comments below. In other news, we're going to celebrate the launch of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X with a marathon of EGM and the launch games. That's right, we're going to go through 4 episodes that'll span almost 20 years and 24 consoles. We're telling the story of system launches, which will help to put the new consoles in context. Let me tell you, you're going to be shocked by some of the findings, so tune in all week for EGM and the launch games. Anyway, if that sounds good to you, then I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Until then.